Hey, human family, it's Darren. Thanks for dropping by. Welcome to another episode of Fully Alive Again. On today's show, I want to share with you a very important concept. If you can understand and grasp it, it will speed up your recovery and possibly even change the trajectory of your life. So if speeding up your recovery by becoming fully alive again sounds good to you, hit the subscribe button and let's do what we do and dive deep.
No tears, no fears. Fully alive again after this years.
What are you becoming? And is that all right with you? Each and every moment, minute, hour, day, week, year, we are becoming something. One of the most important questions that you can ask yourself on a regular basis is, what am I becoming? And is that all right with me? You see, because we have the incredible ability to change what we are becoming. Think of it this way. If you live in a place with a winter climate, a colder climate, have you ever seen a dolphin playing in the snow in your backyard or swimming under the ice by one of the nearby lakes? That's probably something you'll never see. If you live in a tropical climate, at the hottest temperatures of the year, have you witnessed a grizzly bear, a deer, or a buffalo swimming in the crystal clear tropical waters of the ocean? Of course not, because these creatures are limited. They cannot decide or change what they are. You see, we sentient human beings, empaths, can create our own reality. Now, this doesn't mean that a narcissist can't do this to a certain degree, but they can't change who they are and what they feel like on the inside. It's impossible. But you and I, we can change the way that we feel. We have a choice on how we respond to the world. We can live where we want to live. We can change jobs. We can change countries. We can change names. We can change our personality. And most of all, we can change our emotional interior. We can change the essence of who we are and how we respond to life. We can change our religion. We can change our culture. For heaven's sakes, we can even change our gender. These things matter. We are such an amazing species, and we don't utilize our full power. Because of narcissistic abuse, we are not fully alive. We are not using the full utility of the resources of our species. The French philosopher Voltaire said, "One of the most difficult things we human beings can do is choose to be in a good mood." You see, we as sentient human beings have a choice in the way that we feel about things. We can decide the trajectory of our lives by deciding who and what we want to be, what type of outcomes we are really desiring. This is unique to our species as humans. How we come out of narcissistic abuse in the long run is really a choice. And it's a choice of being honest with ourselves. What do we want? And we have to overcome the fear that is preventing us from looking at and making these kind of choices. I personally believe there are three kinds of people that come out of narcissistic abuse and any other kind of serious adversity. Number one is a person that's in a coma. The person that is completely closed up and full of umbrage, fear, and the inability to see beyond it. It puts them in a coma. This is much like the narcissist in the way that they view the world. Imagine this. Imagine that we're all on a train ride of life. We're a passenger on a train going up a huge mountainside. And on this mountainside is the totality of life on both sides of the train. And what I mean by the totality of life, there are the artists, the creative sides of life, the poet, the musicians, the dancers, the entertainers, and that's a part of the spectrum. And then on the other side are the political spectrum, the politicians, the governors, the senators, the people who control our experience, our external experiences to a certain degree. And on this train ride, you have life and death. You have the tragedy of terminal illnesses, and yet also a birth of a beautiful baby being born. It's the totality of life. You have the ugliness of a mean narcissist and the beauty of a little baby deer with little white polka dots on their side and a little shiny nose, and a little butterfly goes poop and lands on their nose. You have everything, all of the ugliness and all of the beauty going up this mountainside. And it's all around you. And the person in the coma has the window shut, the shade pulled all the way down, saying there is nothing beautiful in life. And they're just telling you about the ugly side of life. That's person number one. They have surrendered to the darkness of narcissism. And they no longer seek or believe the beauty in life. They are caught and stuck in the abyss of darkness. They have joined the dark side of the narcissist. Then there's a person that is the sleeper on the same train, and they've got their shade open up about a quarter of a way, and they see some of the beautiful flowers, the trees, the sunset, the baby deer with the white polka dots and the little shiny black nose and the little butterfly that lands on it, poop, and they can see some of the beauty. But they're sitting next to a narcissist that are telling them that that stuff is an illusion and that they are weak and that they could never muster the strength or energy to enjoy their lives and see the totality of existence and pull themselves towards the beauty, the wonder, the magic of human existence. That's person number two, the sleeper. Then you have person number three, the dancer. They've got their shade all the way open and they see the tragedy of life, the ugliness of life, the darkness of narcissism in the world, and they see it. But yet they still see the beauty of life. They see the beautiful sunsets, the flowers, the oceans, all of the beautiful things in nature. They see the good people that still exist. They see that little baby deer with the white little spots and the shiny black nose with the little butterfly landing on it, and they marvel at this whole thing called life, and they are dancing. They have written down new goals. They have a new vision for their life. They're not pretending that there isn't ugliness, evil, and darkness in the world. They're just not focusing in on it and letting it dictate their perceptions. They are in the game of life. They are like what Helen Keller said, life is a daring adventure or nothing at all. They're choosing the adventure. They're living again. They are ready for come what may. If a narcissist comes into their life from a relationship choice that wasn't a good one, they're ready to transcend it. They refuse to give any evil entity their power or concern. They're ready to go up, over, around, or through these type of evil entities, so they are fully alive. They are the dancer. Now the question is, fam, which do you want to be? Because it is a choice. That dolphin, those animals that I mentioned at the beginning of this episode, do not have a choice. A narcissist does not have a choice to experience inner peace, joy, vitality. They can't get to the ebullient energy that we sentient human beings are capable of. They desire it. They thirst for it. They can't even fathom it. They know it's there, but they can't grasp it or fully understand it. So that's why they want to F with us and rip it out of us and emulate us. The question is, what are you going to do about it? I suggest that we all make the conscious decision to be a dancer. Now, how do we do that, and what does that mean? We do that first by choosing to do that. I am going to do whatever it takes to heal and become fully alive again. I am going to invest in myself and do the inner work and take the time to dream again, to imagine again. One of the greatest realities of the 20th century is that we discovered that thoughts are things. That's why technology proliferates so fast. Einstein said, the answers are in the question. So there are no limitations. It's not a coincidence that technology has a new capability, a faster capability, a new gadget, a new skill. Because if we ask the right questions, we get the right answers. To transcend the damage narcissistic abuse has done to us, we have to change our questions. When our questions change, our answers change. When our answers change, our thoughts and our philosophy, our lives start to change because our ideology changes, our behavior changes. Does that make sense, you guys? So the challenge of this episode is for you to be completely honest with yourself where you're at right now. Are you in a coma? Are you a sleeper? Are you a dancer? And that's none of my business or anyone else's. That's for you to assess. And then once you're honest with yourself, decide where you want to go. Being 100% honest with yourself. And that takes self-awareness and getting to know yourself and pulling back the layers. And once you come to those conclusions, you become a dancer because you know where you're going and you know the totality of life. That's the greatest gift that we've received as narcissistic abuse survivors. We know there is a different dimension to life that most people are not aware of. Nothing can stop you or break you now, as long as you keep your eyes wide open. Does that mean problems aren't going to come your way? Does that mean tragedies aren't going to come your way? We're all in this game of life. Of course not. I'm saying to have the courage to start taking the steps and doing the things that you want to do in your life. There are no guarantees in life. Life is either a daring adventure or nothing at all. So what being a dancer is that I'm jumping back into the game of life. I am taking on this daring adventure. And that's where you start to forge the steel in your mind, where no one can penetrate it. That's how we're designed. Everyone's going to try to knock you down that are narcissists. They're going to try to mind F you at every opportunity they get. That's the world that we're in. Who gives a shit? You can see them a mile away if you keep your third eye open. You run around here asleep, listening to the wrong people and the wrong things, you're going to get slammed into the earth again. But if you're choosing to be wise and to be fully alive with your eyes wide open, you are going to thrive. You are going to thrive and take yourself to the next level day by day, minute by minute, hour by hour. And yes, there will be some times that you go backwards. But knowing what type of person you want to be, what type of life you want to have, and putting your focus on that, and knowing what that is 100% is going to minimize the damage that can be done to you and the damage that was done to you. And believe me, when you know who you are and what you really want, and have a clear vision of what you want for your life, and if you sincerely, if that comes from your DNA assignment, if that comes from the marrow of your existence, you will set really good boundaries. And what I mean from the marrow of your existence, it's not coming from the conditioning of a narcissistic world that says you need this to be happy, or your spouse needs to be this for you to be happy, or you need to have this, that, and the other. All of that shit is what causes people to crash and burn. It has to come from the complete essence of your own existence. And that takes inner work, because we've all been programmed by narcissistic people in a narcissistic society. There are a lot of moving parts going on inside of you internally. All right, you guys, does that make sense? So I hope today what you take away from this is that you have some work to do to prioritize what type of person you want to be and what do you want in your future. And I don't care if you've got 3 years left of life or 70 years left of life. It matters. Enjoy the rest of your life and take control of your life now. Now. Are you going to be in a coma? Are you going to remain a sleeper? Or are you going to choose to be a dancer? I hope you choose to being fully alive again and becoming a dancer. I deeply appreciate you guys being here. I hope this made sense to you all. And what say you? Please share your comments about anything. Doesn't have to be particularly about this show. And if there's anything that I can do to improve my show and cover a certain topic or explain something to you, please ask that question below, and I give you my word, I will get on it and do everything I can to present a show and an answer for you. Okay, you guys? And always remember, it's better to be tricked, fooled, abused, and even damaged by a narcissist than to be a narcissist. Thanks for stopping in, you guys. I'll see you on the next video.
No tears, no fears. Fully alive again after 6 years.